What's up, y'all? Welcome to my channel. It's Mulatto American. So mulattoes are overworked and they're underpaid. And I'm not really talking about employment, though that could be another video. I'm talking about the social atmosphere. I see so many mulattoes fighting for other people's causes, fighting for the Black community and the liberals and Democrats. And then they're the ones who are fighting for the Republicans and the white community and the conservatives, especially the ones fighting for the Black community and the Democrats, because historically, that's how it's always been, not just in America, but in other countries. You've always seen mulattoes rising to the challenge and sticking it to the man, standing up for Black rights. And for what? Just to be thrown under the bus. Whatever you do is never enough, because for these mulattoes, they're not just fighting for Black rights or for white rights or whatever. They're fighting for their place to be accepted. They're fighting for their seat at the table. And they think if they do enough appeasement, then they'll finally be elevated to a higher status. But no matter what side you choose, it's never enough. They're always going to look down on you, while also having this weird theory that you're like a superhuman. For the ones fighting for the Black community, it's never enough, because what happens when a mulatto fights for Black rights, then history rewrites them as a Black person, no matter how they look. They get rewritten as a Black person. They get absorbed into Black history instead of having mulatto history. So that way, in the present day, then these same Black people can try and guilt you and say, well, you're not doing enough. And it's always you mixed breeds. It's always you light skins and all these other words that they like to use to describe you as a mulatto. It's always you siding with white people. It's always you causing these problems. It's always you exemplifying colorism. And then they try to pit you in that subordinate role where you always have to fight and prove yourself, all the while neglecting that your very people have always been fighting for them. And then you have the mulattoes who are fighting for the white community, who allow themselves to be used by these conservatives to be the voice of Black people and to go out and lecture Black people on their culture and how they need to act, all the while knowing that, first of all, they're not Black, and these same people that they're lecturing to don't even like them, not just because of their politics, but because of how they look. So these conservatives, they strip you of your historical autonomy as well, because they also just want to paint you as Black so that they can use you as their new diversity hire. So they can use you to go out and convert actual Black people so they can gain more votes, because the Black population is higher than the mulatto community. But then both sides use you because you're the more presentable version of the audience they're really trying to capture. And we're overworked, because these mulattoes put in more work than either of them, especially on the Black side. I see so many mulattoes fighting for Black people, fighting for every other group but themselves. Then once those groups get what they want, they forget all about the mulatto. And I mean, yeah, it kind of is their fault for even helping them and prioritizing them in the first place. But you also can't deny that they're putting in the most work. They're like that employee at work that always goes above and beyond, that's known as a hard worker, that picks up other people's slack. And you see them running around, running laps around other people. And they think, yeah, this is really going to prove my worth. Yeah, I'm really showing them I'm going to get promoted and this and that. And the whole time, those people, they don't care. They see you as a mule. They see you as something to be stepped on. They don't see your worth. You really think that behind your back, they're giving you kudos and talking good about you? No, you're the type of person that people laugh about behind your back. Like, yeah, some of them might act like they respect you or they appreciate you to your face, but they laugh about you. Once they clock out and they go to happy hour or they go over each other's houses and mess around, then they laugh about you. That's what they do. They want to hide in the house and post things online and do a little something, something. And they want you, the mulatto, to be out on the field, putting yourself at risk, putting yourself at the front of the crowd, to be harassed by police, to be tear gassed, to be attacked, to be assaulted and yelled at and spit on. And for what? For people that don't even like you? Those are the people you're trying to gain acceptance from because you're so scared of just being alone, or because you've been guilted and brainwashed into feeling like because you're somehow better than them, then you need to fight for them. But at the same time, you better not go around thinking that you're better than anybody. And we're underpaid. They expect you to be a translator. They expect you to be the bridge between two worlds. When the blacks and whites are arguing, then they expect you to jump in the middle of it and be like, no, wait, no, understand his side. No, understand his side. I mean, I can see both sides, but because you do all this hooting and hollering and all of this protesting, and how are you being compensated? You're not being compensated. Mulatto Mountain, taken away, renamed. Mulatto Pass, Mulatto Run, taken away. Black history, but no mulatto history. You're just absorbed into a group. Your whole history and accomplishments erased and absorbed because they want to stop us from building our own culture and communities. And you know, it's crazy because I know a lot of you mulattoes have been brainwashed from the very beginning. You all, depending on which community you grew up in, whether it was the black or the white one, or if it was a mix, you know, you've been brainwashed to believe that your very existence is a mistake and you need to correct it by getting with a black man. And then for the men, they don't even want you all in their community. So tough luck. A lot of you all got bullied and attacked and harassed in school by monoracials. But then when you fought back, when you had something more clever to say, when you had the finishing blow, now all of a sudden you're the villain. And you shouldn't have done that. You should have just let it go and be the better person and blah, blah, blah. Like, you see how they try to play in your face? So a lot of you all just walk around thinking that you're nothing, that you're unseen, you're unheard, that you're just there to be stepped on. And if you even say anything like, oh, well, you got to rethink, you better think twice or three times because that might be going over the line. But you see how these monoracials act? And I know it because I see it. I see the way you all look, the way you all walk around, the way you all let all this BS slide because it's just jokes and you don't want to look like the sensitive one. But look at how these blacks and whites are on social media complaining that they're having their rights taken away and how their populations are declining because they're so raggedy and lazy and offer nothing. They just whine and complain and make up more issues in their own dating pool, which drives them to date internationally, which drives them to interracial dating. And then they want to make it seem like it's everybody else's problem. And then here comes the dumb mulatto trying to come in and save the day. Because I know you all are afraid of a race war. That's why you all keep quiet, because you know your thoughts and your words are powerful because of the position you're in, because of your perspectives and experiences. You know that you could just shut all these monoracials down. So that's why you stay quiet, because you're scared. You're scared of a race war. You're scared of a fight. But we've already been in a race war. We're already in one, and it's not going away. So unless you want to stay stuck in the middle and confused and taking hits and lefts and rights from both sides, then I'd advise you it's best to separate and create your own thing. So that way we're no longer overworked. We're no longer underpaid. We're valued. We're contributing something for this generation and the next generation, instead of trying to save the day. And I know this video isn't going to change many people's minds for the mulattoes who do happen to stumble upon it, who are stuck in that subordinate position. But perhaps this video could put even more confidence in the people who are already about this. Or maybe it can make some of you who have already been exposed to this kind of content and you're kind of on the fence, of what should you do. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, because the people who separate and go their own way, they're going to have a better quality of life, and it's already happening. If you like this content, hit that like and subscribe button, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next one.